This week's theme is winter lights. And as Anita Diamond says, this is the season when people of all faiths and cultures are pushing back against the planetary darkness. We string bulbs, ignite bonfires, and light candles, and we sing. So winter really represents this darkness, and it's really because the earth is sleeping and Mother Nature hibernates, and we can bring light to this time of year, both literally and figuratively. And so we're going to actually explore that a little bit. Many traditions use light to warm the colder, shorter days of the longer darkness. We light menorahs during the Festival of Lights, string lights outside our homes, decorate our Christmas trees, light fires, burn candles. Sometimes some people do it all year round, but many of us do the lighting of the candles really just this time of year. And then the North Star lights up the night sky, and it's been used through the ages as a guiding light. So the North Star has served as a sky marker by ancient and modern cultures. It's been used by navigators, astronomers, and even escaping slaves. So unlike all other stars in the sky, it always points to the north and is helpful in determining direction. So for this reason, over time, the North Star has also gained the symbolic meaning of guidance, hope, luck, freedom, and constancy. And it's also been a source of inspiration for finding purpose and passion in life. And the North Star also symbolizes our own internal guiding light, the guidance system that shapes our journey ahead. We can really turn towards it as a source of strength and inspiration. And it's the seat of our inner voice and intuitive wisdom. When we listen from this place, we can allow our true purpose to emerge. And for millennia, humans have been interested in that existential question, what is my purpose? And the question can really keep us up at night. It can keep us feeling like we're not living an authentic life. It can make us wonder if we're making the most out of our human experience. It can be a source of inspiration, but it can also be a source of anxiety. So many people have written about purpose, from ancient philosophers to modern day spiritual and personal growth teachers. And most of our ideas about purpose are really generated in the mind. And most ideas generated in the mind are really the result of external influences, like cultural ideas, the media, our own life experience, other people, authority figures, our parents. So when we try to identify our purpose, it can really become a mental exercise in which we try to source as many well-meaning ideas and previous life experiences as we can. But when we remain in our thinking mind, we're disconnected from the more subtle, ever-present, and pre-verbal knowing that is inherent to us as humans. So in general, the mind's ideas tend to be a bit louder. They have more activation to them, both in our mind and in our body. And they can create a sense of contraction and, as I mentioned earlier, anxiety, tension, but also things like excitement, thrills, exhilaration. So the mind's ideas are not necessarily bad. They just have a particular activity to them, and they tend to kind of fluctuate a lot. If you're making a decision based on the excitement of the mind's ideas, you often need to remind yourself why you're excited. Your inner voice of wisdom and truth, however, is quieter and has a real simplicity to it. It's not trying to convince you of anything. It's like watching a river flowing downstream, right? It just is. And there's a sense of authenticity. In order to uncover our true purpose, we kind of need to let go of our mind's ideas and about what we want and who we think we should be. So Ultimately, the mind's ideas might be aligned with our purpose, but they're not the starting point. So too often we hold ourselves to some predetermined idea of what our life should be, so that we're not actually listening to what is emanating from the place of our own inherent wisdom, our internal guidance system, our own North Star, so to speak. Our purpose can only be communicated from this place. And it's really about having an intimate relationship with the simple, still, and settled voice within you, one that we all have, the voice that is unique to this one wild and precious life, the gift you've been given to be on earth at this time and this time only. And this voice takes you one step closer to the life that is only yours to live. And if there is indeed a person that you are meant to be, it will only be uncovered through an unwavering commitment to listen and to surrender to what is most true in each moment. And Maya Angelou says, nothing can dim the light that shines from within. And so I'm now going to invite you to, we're going to move into the more formal portion of the meditation. So I'm going to invite you to maybe adjust your posture, just making yourself as comfortable as possible. And whatever feels supportive for you in this moment, even laying down maybe. And then perhaps taking a nice, slow, deep inhalation and exhalation. And just allowing yourself just to settle a little bit more deeply into your own body. Into the chair that you're sitting in. And then just tuning into the breath. Feeling each inhalation and each exhalation. So not needing to change it in any way. Just riding the waves of your own breath cycle. And maybe just noticing how the breath is in this moment. Maybe it's easy, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's a bit more labored. Just allowing the breath to come and go just as it is. Maybe just checking in with yourself and taking your own internal temperature. How am I in this moment? And just making space for whatever makes itself known. Just allowing yourself to be just as you are in each moment. Just following each breath. And if your mind wanders, which it surely will if it hasn't already, that's okay. Just bringing your mind back to the task at hand. And in this moment, the task at hand is just being with the breath, like a steady companion a good friend. Allowing the breath to anchor you more fully into the body and into each moment, into each moment of presence. Just giving yourself permission to be here fully, letting go of anything that might have come before. And likewise, not thinking about anything else that might come later. Just being here with yourself and for yourself. Keeping your own good company. Maybe just taking a moment to scan the body, allowing the breath to sweep through the entire body. And maybe just tuning into some areas of tension. And just noticing, not needing to change anything, but perhaps inviting a little bit of ease, whether it's in the neck and shoulders. Just noticing if the jaw is a little bit clenched, and if so, perhaps inviting ease there. Noticing the tiny facial muscles and allowing them to just relax over your bony cheekbones. Maybe also softening the forehead. We often tend to furrow the brow or hold a bit of tension there. And now, as you're ready, I'm going to invite you to allow your awareness of the breath and the physical sensations just to recede into the background of your awareness. Now imagining the North Star shining bright in the sky, bright in the night sky, and then imagining in your mind's eye the glow of this light deep within, resting in your own body. Just noticing, is it bright, luminous, yellow, white? But as best as you can, tuning in to where in your body this internal light, the resting place of your voice of wisdom, where does it reside in your body? Perhaps it's in the chest cavity, spreading warmth and a sense of knowing throughout the body. Or perhaps for you, it's in the heart space, glowing softly between each life sustaining beat. Or maybe for you, it's in the solar plexus, resting gently below the rib cage. So just allowing yourself to envision where this light exists for you. And if you prefer, you can just sense the warm glow of your own intuitive wisdom as a presence that's emanating from within. Whatever feels right for you in this moment. And now, perhaps asking yourself this question now: what is it I am to do with my one wild and precious life? And as you ask this question, imagine standing beside a deep, deep wishing well. Just picturing yourself beside this deep well of your own life experience, and there's a light glowing deeply below. And now imagining that this question is just like a tiny pebble that you're dropping into this deep well of your own life. What is it I am to do with my one wild and precious life? Mm, Maybe the first thoughts are somewhat superficial or unreflective, perhaps conjured up by the mind, but just taking some time now to hold the question in awareness. And as the pebble continues to drop deeper into that well, perhaps considering an even deeper question, the question of what is it I really am to do with my one wild and precious life? So letting the response come from a deeper place inside you and letting go of needing the answer to completely make sense or be logical, just letting it arise spontaneously from an open heart. And then when you're ready, as the pebble falls still deeper into the deep, deep well of your own experience, and then coming to rest in the warm, glowing light at the bottom of the well. Now, following another still deeper question just to see where it leads. What is it I really, really am to do with my one wild and precious life? Just allowing yourself to be surprised, inspired, or even curious about what comes up. There are no right answers here, just what seems right in this moment. And just making space for whatever is arising in this moment, knowing that this is your truth in this moment. And also knowing that this is a place within you that you can always come back to. And then as you're ready, releasing this practice and just resting gently in your own experience, just as it was, and just as you are right now. As I finish with this reflective poem, tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? You ask. A kind, befriending curiosity encourages investigation of all that arises. Pure awareness in seamless continuity shines with a clarity not known before. A quiet stillness flowers open a well in my heart. There, the pebble falls deeper and deeper, landing softly on silk velvet, where silence echoes tenderly between life-sustaining beats. Steeped in kindness, your invitation begs the courage to turn towards darkness. With skillful means and practice, a certain kind of fortitude is cultivated. Keep looking at the bandaged place. That's where the light enters you, I'm reassured. I want to close my eyes and rest my weary head, but your gentle nudging points to the work that must be done. Just this, you say, just now. So I found what was lost and then lost what was found over and over again. Who am I, you ask? Then I remember, why, the sculptor's block of stone, of course. A sacred masterpiece, fully complete, but concealed within. Sublime artistry uncovers an inherent perfection as it is slowly chiseled forth. Before it's time to go, I long to hear your soothing voice, and one last time you ask, tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? Share it heartfully, I whisper back. And so as you're ready, just beginning to wiggle fingers and toes, and gently allowing your eyes to open if they were closed. And just taking a moment to kind of look around so that you can reorient yourself to the space. And then letting your gaze come back to the screen. And I just want to thank you for your practice today. And I'd like to leave you with a weekly invitation, as we always do. So I invite you to take time this week to reflect on and tap into your own North Star. Just by settling the mind through quiet contemplation, perhaps by the glow of a softly burning candle. And in this stillness, it may just be possible to tune into what your own internal voice of wisdom is telling you, and then surrendering to the what is of your one wild and precious life in that moment.